Hi there. Thanks for joining us for the third video. This is the cyber security roadmap. If you've not seen videos 1 and 2, go back and have a look at those so you can have a look at the different levels that we are referring to. So as an overview, we've got the 3 levels, initial and developing as level 1, level 2 is defined, and level 3 is managed and optimized. This video is going into the details for level 3. So remember, we started at level 1 going through the technology assessments, risk assessments, tightening up the basics, putting our technology defense in depth, looking at cybersecurity awareness, implementing a framework that makes sense for the business, deploying those policies and procedures, and finally we move into level 3 where we look at setting up a cybersecurity operations center, ongoing testing like pen testing and vulnerability assessments, and looking at compliance and reporting. So for level 3, we're looking at managed and optimized depending on your level that you get to. So you can see we've split this into people, process, and technology again. Looking at, for people, we're looking at increased resources and awareness, clearly defined roles and responsibilities. Processes, we have formal a committee and verification and measurement processes in place, and the technology, the controls are monitored for compliance. Optimize starts getting into that kind of feedback cycle and getting better at what we're doing. Moving into what we do and what you can do for your organization is we need to start looking at monitoring those alarms and alerts and actually responding to that. Now, this can be internal or external, so you can outsource this, and in most cases you probably are going to outsource. It's a tremendously difficult task to keep across all the alarms and alerts, and you need some specialist areas or specialist people, I suppose, to actually handle these effectively. Now, when you look at your items that are going to be in place to actually generate these alerts, we're looking at something like a SIEM, so the Security Information and Event Monitoring System, now or management system. And you can see just on the pictures that I've got here, they generate thousands of alarms. And the idea is to actually go through this, whether it's through AI and machine learning, and then finally an analyst to actually look at and go and rectify these issues. Historically, most alarms are ignored, and we're in an environment now where we just can't afford to do that. So it's probably best to looking at whether you're going to insource this or outsource it, but definitely setting up a operations center or security operations center to deal with this. Once we do have that in place, though, we're in the position now to actually run pen testing and vulnerability assessments. So pen testing is generally handled by an external organization. You can do it internally, but it's not going to give you what you're looking for. You could do that as some basic testing initially, but you're definitely going to want a third party to run the pen testing for you. Even us as Mercury IT, we work with a lot of customers. We don't do the pen testing because it would be a conflict of interest. So we use a trusted partner to actually run the pen testing for our customers as an example. So you'll probably be looking at doing the same thing. A lot of the SIEM tools that you have could do vulnerability assessments as well, which can be useful for your internal teams or your external provider to go and rectify the known vulnerabilities that are on the system before the pen test actually takes place. Finally, we move into our compliance and reporting. Now, this is where we start getting onto good governance. So we're looking at if you've chosen ISO 27001, or maybe you need to comply with GDPR laws because you're dealing with Europe, or you've chosen NIST, Cybersecurity Framework, or maybe it's your cybersecurity policy itself. So your insurance broker is expecting a report from you with regards to compliance. Here, we will generally install a product known as a compliance manager that does continual assessment of your compliance and can generate the required reports, whether that's for the insurance or whether it's for GDPR or whether you need policies and procedures for printed out for an auditor for ISO 27001. So we can actually generate these reports. Also good for reporting back to the board that the company is actually in compliance with the chosen framework. And that is pretty much about it. So that's our full setup and our roadmap as you walk through. If you do need any help with any of those areas, feel free to reach out either to myself or Mercury, and we can help you out. Thanks for joining us.